Well, we work in partnership with many youth organizations in different countries, and what we've seen is that young people do see the connections of reproductive health and how empowering women, empowering young people, increasing access to education, increasing sexual and reproductive health services actually helps communities adapt to climate change issues. And so we see that around the world. For example, there's over 222 million women who want access to family planning but don't have the means to get it. And so we see that as a solution to addressing climate change, because when families are impoverished, when they don't have access to information, when they're not able to address different issues, whether it's droughts, floods, negative consequences of climate change.
Right. And I understand the connection now between reproductive health and climate change. How do you apply that on the ground? How do you get that message across to different youth communities around the world?
It's really about, I think, increasing education around the connections, first of all, because I think we talk about adaptation and there's lots of different solutions for that, but I think talking about integration of reproductive health services, and there are examples of that where organizations have included or integrated family planning as a part of climate change adaptation.
And can you give me a specific example? You mentioned there are examples. I mean, where perhaps has education, greater awareness among young people in a particular community help the issue?
Right. There's a partner we have in Ethiopia that they work. They're called Population Health Environment Consortium, and a lot of their work has been around doing kind of all of these things, like bringing together, young people to implement family planning services, but at the same time they're also creating awareness about the environment and climate change, and why it's important for young people to take leadership in addressing climate change. So I think it's about kind of thinking of sustainable development as a whole and bringing these kinds of programs together to address these issues.
And your reasons for being here, how's it going to help you being here in Doha for this climate change conference? Spread the message or make links with other organizations? How does it help being here?
Well, in the past, we've actually had this conversation with Ms. Figueres, the UNFCCC secretary, and she's responded very positively to bringing our issues into the UNFCCC process, and she's guided us through talking to the Adaptation Committee, to the least developed countries expert group. And so really what we're trying to do is create solutions on how we can use them in their position to help guide countries in creating adaptation programming that includes issues that we care about, like reproductive health.
Right. She's responded very well, but most of the negotiators tend to be middle-aged men, middle-aged and elderly men. Are they responding? Are you confident they will respond to the message that you bring here and the wider, wider climate change debate in general? Right.
I think that's a good point that you made about how a lot of them are middle-aged men, and I think that's the kind of the root of the problem too, because we really need to diversify the participation of delegates here at the meeting. I can see there's definitely a lack of participation of young people, particularly young women, at this meeting, and we need to make sure that country governments recognize this problem, and that they make sure they bring, try to diversify their delegations and make sure that young people are there, young women also.